What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. A little under the weather still, so not going to be on camera tonight. I'm going to be real with you, but we're going to go through this. Been promising you, we're going to talk about the defense, get to know the offense here as well throughout the next couple of weeks here. Free agency's coming. We'll be breaking it all down, but I want to give you a little look. I know you guys like to see this in picture form, just giving you an idea of what the schemes and structures, and there are so many things. It is such an in-depth defense that I'm going to point you in the right direction as to some places you can go to really learn a lot about this defense and where I have as well. But going to give you a little look at what the Eagles defense looks like right now. And as always, we'll talk about it at the beginning of the offseason, and I'll keep you updated with all this stuff. And then we'll talk about it again after the free agent, hits, and after free agency hits, and we have a better idea what we need in the draft. Then we'll talk about it after the draft, kind of filling out these holes. But going into free agency, let's start it off here. And I appreciate each and every one of you hitting the like button, subscribing, all that stuff. Let's go right into it here. And you see that, we've got some guys that are free agents here. Cox, obviously very important. Graham, very important. But, guys that were veteran 1 year guys, Cunningham, Evans, Morrow, Leonard, Roby. I don't think they come back. Bradley, I could, see him for, I don't know why it says badly there, but he could be back, special teams help and kind of thin at that position. So those are the free agents. We also made some reserve future signings. So these are some of the young guys that Vic Fangio will be giving a chance here. And you've got some defensive linemen, some secondary guys, some edge rushers. So those guys you will see as we go position by position here and talk about the importance of that position to Vic Fangio and the defense. So the defensive linemen, they've got to be versatile, lining up all over the place. And, people get really twisted up with this multiple scheme defense. But, these guys are, listed. If you're playing Madden, you're listing them at D tackle, D end, all kinds of stuff. But they're lining up. These are the interior guys going from the 4 technique all the way to the 0. And some of these guys, can do different things. We have edge rushers that can go inside as well. But these are the interior guys. Anyone in green you see here is a reserve future signing. So under contract, Carter, Davis, Ajomo, Tuipulotu, and Williams. Then you see Ellis and Booker there as your reserve future guys. So pretty stacked. You've got some guys that can play that multiple scheme. Big boy Jordan Davis is nose tackle. Carter can line up all over the place. Ojomo, one of those versatile pieces. Same with Milton Williams. So excited to see if they continue to add there. But 2 studs in Carter and Davis. We'll see if Cox comes back. But I like what we have, but always looking to add to the line. And, when it comes to the line, edge rushers, we've got some nice pieces here in Sweat and Reddick, obviously. And we'll see if they extend Sweat there, or Reddick gets a restructure of his contract, maybe an extension. We'll see what they do there. But we drafted Smith. We knew he needed time to develop. We'll see how he has developed in a year and then this offseason. You got Terrell Lewis and Smith now listed as linebackers, but really that tweener type, just like Nolan Smith, Son Reddick, that really are edge rushing guys, but would fit in this defense. So they will get a chance along with Teron Jackson to compete. Patrick Johnson, more of a special teams guy, but he can, be that tweener too that can play a little bit of off ball. So you've got some versatile pieces here on this defense, and, edge rushers, obviously very important, this defensive line. And, you're trying to get that pressure. We did not get that last year. And, a lot of people, you got to blitz every play, but really in this defense, it's about reading the quarterback, his drop and watching the wide receivers release, going after these guys. And it's a post-snap kind of defense. And, you got to get that pressure, though, because these guys that are doing their thing post-snap, everybody's got to be on the same page. And we saw a lot of not being on the same page last year. The edge rushers got to get home, though. And I'm really hoping with Clint hurt here, we can really see some improvement there. But the Eagles will be looking to add there, whether that be in free agency or the draft. There is a lot of talent out there. Now, linebacker, going to be important. You got to be an athletic guy. We've got 2 athletic guys on the roster here. That's it. Everybody else is a free agent. You saw that list a second ago, but Dean and Van Sumeren. And look, I like both of them. Dean, obviously, he got hurt in his first year starting, but been healthy every year before that in college. And so we hope he's healthy, hope he figures things out. And then Van Sumeren, an athletic freak who just moved to linebacker. So you're trying to really get him learning some things, can help on special teams. So excited to see, but definitely looking to add to linebacker. And we talk about needing those athletic guys that can hit the gaps. And we play a lot of fire zone, sending one of these linebackers, got to be able to be that extra man, and you got to be able to cover. So we're going to need to add, and we talked about the studs that are out there: Patrick Queen, Devin White, Levante David, Frankie Louvu, so many great linebackers. And in the draft, you got Trotter and so many names we've talked about and we will get into, but I would definitely look to add there. And I think the Eagles will definitely do that. And very important to have that in Vic Fangio's defense. So I think he will put an emphasis there. He's been a coach there. So I'm excited about that. Now at cornerback, you can see pictured here, I'm very excited to get Isaiah Rodgers here. Was suspended last year, but you've got a lot of guys under contract. We'll see what they do with Bradbury, but you've got Maddox, McPherson obviously is coming back. Rodgers, as I just mentioned, but Slay, some possible starters there. And then you've got Ricks and Ringo and Job all competing. And then the reserve future guys, Garner, Goodrich, and Mullen. So you've got a lot of competition that are already under contract. Only one free agent. That's Roby. I don't think he comes back. So a lot of talent there. We'll see if they look to get a little bit younger. They've been, I like Ringo. Ricks, has some promise, had his struggles for sure, but love Rodgers, McPherson. So we'll see who can stay healthy, what can go down here. But cornerback, obviously, they play off sometimes and people talk about that, but you've got to be a smart cornerback. Everybody has got to be able to be smart in this defense. We talk about that. There is a lot of things that go into this defense, a lot of keys and adjustments that everybody's got to be on the same page. And last year, it definitely looked like they were not doing that because this is a very vanilla, they call it the vanilla theory, that you just kind of line up looking the same throughout the game and you'll do different looks, in different games and how you're trying to match up against teams. But, you got to be able to change what you're doing within that, so you might see the same thing, but different looks are coming because these guys have different, responsibilities within that. So cornerback going to be very important, obviously, but safety, one of the most important, and nickel corner, that's going to be one of your most important, but so is safety. A lot of these guys, a lot of responsibility, what's going on post snap, where they're rotating. And, that's something we've talked about the last few years with these defenses that have been trying to be like Vic Fangio, but we've got Vic Fangio here and, Sidney Brown being used as that third safety. Hopefully he can get healthy and be starting soon, but Blankenship fired. Definitely look to add to the room. McCollum brought back here, reserve future signing. So excited about that. And obviously a lot of keys and tools and there's dozens and dozens of different things that the safeties can do post snap, dependent on what they're supposed to be watching. So it's a really complicated defense that I love learning about, and I'm going to send you in the right direction here. But let's look at all of that. You could see what they have here on the depth chart, what it looks like. And I've got 12 starters here just so you can see 5-man fronts. You can see with the nickel corner there as well. And anyone in green is a free agent, but anyone in gray there is a reserve future signing. Obviously, anyone in white is under contract. So you can see kind of where they need to go. We talked about it, what they need to add, but versatile safeties that need to be able to come down and, be able to tackle against the run. Very important there. And I think, Sidney Brown, very bright future, but obviously banged up. Hate that. But we're going to see a lot of movement in free agency in the draft, and I am looking forward to that. Now, let's get into some of these schemes, some of the structures of this defense, what it's going to look like. And I'm telling you, if you guys want to learn all about this, and I'm not going to try to make a show right now where it's the ins and outs of so many crazy things that these guys have taught me and so many things that you guys can learn. But these are the top accounts these are their ats on Twitter. Now, if you look for any of these people, you don't use Twitter or whatever, they have YouTubes and things like that. I can try to point you in the right direction, but make sure you go follow these people and go check out all the content. These are people that have been coaches, have worked with the Eagles, that know Vic Fangio, been studying him, have a lot of content, a lot of different pictures and things that will really help. If you're like a deep sicko, that's some stuff that is really going to blow your mind. And I'm not going to try to do that to you right now. I'm trying to simplify things for you, but I'm telling you, go check out those 3. Great content. And there might be other people, maybe you could let me know, but these were the 3 that I found a lot of great information on. Now, these cover schemes, this last year we got from the Honest NFL, as you saw at the top there, but I don't know, one of you was going out attacking him. When I tell you guys to go check them out, I don't mean go harass them. I mean, give them praise for the great work they're doing, because a lot of good stuff out there for you to learn. But you could see all of, cover 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're playing Madden or looking at something, you're going to get something different every time. There's no real set way. This is what, when you're hearing what they're running, this is what, Vic Fangio is doing, not, anybody else. So some of the key ones, we talked about last year, cover three, you're going to see a lot of the three deep with four under, but a lot of, the difference, a lot of the things that are going on the same, like 3 and 9, it's just a rotation to the strong side, whereas a 9, it's a rotation to the weak side. So it's just about where the safeties, the nickel, where they're rotating. Watching the nickel is like, I saw one of them say something about he's the North Star. Like, you look at where he is, that's your strong side. That's where, you've got the most offensive players, probably the tight end, 3 wide receiver sets, things like that. That's where you're playing to the strong side. So you're going to see a lot of cover 6. That is something that Vic Fangio likes to run. That quarter, half that we talk about, quarters to the strong side there. That's where they're rotating. And then in cover 8, you're just rotating to the weak side, your safeties. But, you're breaking it up. So you're playing halves. You're cutting the field in half. You're playing half sides to, the weaker side where there's less people, less receivers or tight ends, whatever it is. And then on the strong side, you have more defenders, that +1 defender, that nickel corner to help you. And that's where you're rotating. You got a strength there. You're cutting it in that half into half. So you've got quarters there. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, try to simplify it the best I can, but just ask me any questions. Now let's take a look at some of these structures. And, you always hear it each year, we're changing to a 3-4. And dude, this is the 4th year that, if you're going to play Madden or something, this is what you would call it, I guess, but it's not really a 3-4. But I have it color coded here as usual, and you can see the white rings with green background. That is secondary. If you're a linebacker, you've got the green ring with the white background, and then the white ring with the midnight green background is the lineman. So yeah, they're calling that the 3-4, sure, your base defense, but really we like to do 5-2, and it's just our guys, those edge rushers there. They are linebackers, but they're really just standing up on the edge there. And there's so many things that can go, in this. And one of those linebackers could be dropped back more. He could be dropping into coverage. It could be called a 4-3. It could be under. It could be over. Really just dependent on, where they're lining up over center and, the overs to the strong side. So under weak side, I think that, there's so much that goes into it. But if you're looking for just the base of what the defense will look like and where they need to add, like, I know you guys like these pictures. So you see that, Sidney Brown, hopefully he could start, but, Byard and Blankenship for now. Rodgers, hopefully he can take that outside job. He can play outside, inside, very versatile piece. But he and Slay would not mind that as the corners. And you can see the line got, Milton Williams, whether or not Fletcher Cox comes back. And I've mentioned that, I'm not going to put the free agents into this part of it. So anybody that's not signed yet, I'm not going to put into this, show. So sorry about that. Not sure if you could hear Herschel flipping out there, but holy. But yeah. So anyways, you're looking at this and, we talk about it's splitting the field in half, having those split safeties with their responsibilities. And really it's right to left with the free safety, strong safety. And they call it apparently the jack linebacker in your base formation. Obviously see the weak side, the strong side, that could flip depending on where these guys are lining up. So keep that in mind. And, we'll go to looking at a 4-2 here. So we talk about the even fronts they run, adding a nickel. So you take away one of those linemen. And now you see that you've got yourself 5 defensive backs, but 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, and that nickel corner lining up to the strong side there, wherever that may be. That will be where the strong safety is. And you don't have to switch sides. Like the guys don't have to. They have to be able to play both roles. So same with the linebackers, the safeties, it's left to right. Same with the edge rushers, Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick, both considered outside linebackers / defensive ends. And you'll see them labeled as that, just trying to show you how things look different there. And, you see the nickel, but we talk about big nickel as well, where you can put, instead of a, third corner, you put a third safety in there. So you have Sidney Brown. And we talked about that a lot last year, hoping to see some of that. And obviously with the injuries, things like that, forcing Sidney Brown there. That was just unfortunate that he was starting just at safety. We had to trade for Byard. Things were just so crazy. Nobody was on the same page. So hopeful that things get turned around. But you see with 4 down linemen, you see 2 linebackers there, your off-ball guys, and you could have somebody standing up here, changing it to a 3-2. So many different things we can, do within this defense. And we talk about the responsibilities of so many of these guys, but then you can have that penny we talked about, and didn't see a lot of this last year, but Vic Fangio likes to run this 5 linemen, 1 off-ball linebacker. You've got 5 defensive backs there. So you've got 2 corners, a nickel corner there. And obviously, again, the rules, the safety and the linebackers, edge rushers, whatever, the roles change to the strong side, the weak side safety, free safety, whatever you want to call them. Same thing there. But the penny formation, I think you will see a lot of. And again, we will add to these, positions, and it'll look a lot better once we get some more pieces in there. But already excited for the talent that we have, especially I keep seeing Isaiah Rodgers there and getting excited there. But this 4-1, you talk about running the dime package. You can have yourself 6 defensive backs here, 4 linemen, and, linebacker. Now, keep in mind, these fronts and these guys are going to be lining up all over the place, and it'll be changing what the plays are called. Oh, my God, there are so many different calls within these. I'm just giving you the basic structures of them, but there are so many different calls within them. And I'm telling you, go check out those accounts because there is a lot of great stuff. But there's even a big dime where you have an extra safety on the field. So you got Maddox and Sidney Brown there. Got a lot of talent that we could play with. And again, I'm sure we will add to it as well. And, one of the things that they like to call dollar, a lot of people, and, Madden, I know you guys have asked me about this, but this is something he has used before, 3 linemen, 2 linebackers, and you've got those, ends, wide 9. So spreading guys out. Obviously, a passing situation, 2 off-ball linebackers there, but you've got 6 defensive backs. So you're adding yourself a lot of talent here that can do a lot of things, and very excited to see what kind of things they do here. But a 3-1, they like to call copper, apparently. That one, a third safety, so 3 safeties playing high there, and you have a bunch of calls that you can make within these structures, but a lot of excitement. And then you've got the goal line calls with 4-4 here, a jumbo package where you got 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and those 2 edge rushers can creep on the side, create even more. So 2 corners and a safety. Then you can have your 6-1, which is, a lot of different calls people call it, but you can call it 40 with the 2 safeties there, 2 corners, 1 linebacker, and then you've got 6 down linemen. So obviously more of a goal line call there, but those are the structures, the schemes, just trying to keep things basic for you there. But there's a lot that goes into this defense. And if you have any questions about how certain things work, sorry, I've been trying to put this damn video out, of course, super sick. So just want to get it out to you, and we will do a better version as we do every year with more added to it, the players, all the different stuff. But hopefully you enjoyed this and would love to hear your thoughts on this. If you did enjoy it, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe. But until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have yourselves a great night. Stay safe out there. And as always, go Birds!